Round 4 of 6 this season for the inaugural Roadsports Championship. It's funny to say this race championship, but this time points paid for the first time. Reached the halfway point of the season with joint leaders in the championship. Phil Adcock and Matthew Adcock. The BMW Compact from Class D have 42 points. So too do the Genesis G40 pairing of Jez Banks and Daniel Perry from Class C. And then next up it's Chris Fantana in the Mazda MX-5 from Class D. Matthew Tidmarsh and Chris Webster in another Genesis G40 in Class B. And then it's Scott Parkin in the Darkside Developments Audi TT from Class A. So 4 different classes with a split based on power to weight ratio. But it's the Class A Championship leader, Scott Parkin, that is going to line up on pole position. We just saw his Darkside Developments Audi TT lining up there first, just behind the 750 Motor Club safety car. This is a 45-minute race. There's a 15-minute pit window in the middle third of the race. The pit stops have to be at least 60 seconds long, or if you've been successful in previous rounds, a bit longer. Many of the drivers and teams have success penalties of up to 15 seconds. In some cases actually even more than that they have to serve because they're accumulated from previous results. So that throws another uncertainty into these races as well. And it's a big grid, 45 teams I think we will have starting this race, Chris.
A capacity grid, no less. We've got a few on the reserve list for this one, although frankly I don't think any have had to be employed. So yeah, it's great to see such a packed entry. Of course, many of these drivers and cars will be out for the Tequila Club Enduro Championship tomorrow as well. It's sort of the headline event of the 750 Motor Club weekends, the 2-hour race. So this is just a bit of a warm-up for some, but of course many of them also exclusively racing in this championship with their own title fight to think about.
It's their main event, and probably 40% of the teams are 2 driver teams. Quite a lot are solo driven efforts for the full 45 minutes. They still have to make pits, of course, but they have to be stationary in the pit lane. And no driver change needed. No refuelling, of course, in a 45-minute race as well. And if you are short in making a pit stop, under the 60 seconds or the longer period, if you have the penalty, then a penalty will be applied to your race time. So it's not worth trying it on effectively. Yes, so we've had races so far this season at Croft, Silverstone on the Grand Prix circuit, and at Anglesey last month, and the wins have gone 3 different ways so far this season. At Croft it was Morgan Bailey that won in the Honda. Simon Morger took the victory at Silverstone, and Alan Henderson took the overall victory at Anglesey. So the overall victories have been very well spread, but within the classes there have been instances of the same team winning on more than one occasion. So in Class D, Phil and Matthew Adcock, father and son, have won twice in the BMW, and in Class C, Daniel Perry has won twice, once on his own and once at Anglesey, where he shared with Jez Banks as well. So that's the way the races have gone so far this season, and it is just such a popular competition this now. That's not the grid for this race, so we won't give you that. We'll hopefully get the grid up for the Roadsports in just a moment. We're getting ahead of ourselves, a bit like Kieran was a moment ago, and that was the sports specialist grid. We should have the grid for the Roadsports shortly. We'll just run through that as they go off on their green flag lap. Car in the pit lane then, Chris?
Yeah, I believe, is that the Jonathan Packer Golf?
Possibly so.
Is he actually in this race, or is he in
Is he one of the reserves, possibly?
Potentially.
Yeah, he was one of the reserves.
He was.
So he might get into the race if someone drops out on the green flag. One drops out on the green flag lap or something like that.
Only car at the end of pit lane.
Right,
so that would rather suggest
do that now. Scott Parkin it is that lines up on pole position in car number 89. Alongside him is the 117 car. Martin Gadsby is starting that one. On the second row of the grid, it's the 55 car being started by Paul Simerson. Next to him is number 6, which is Ryan Parkin. third row, a 750 Muscle debut, I think, for number 222, Darren Goes. And the 18 car is going to be started by Simon Major. On the fourth row of the grid, it's 221. That's the car that is being driven by Paul Browns this weekend, solo. Number 19 is Wayne Lawson. The fifth row of the grid, that's going to be number 10, Robert Fennick, again driving solo, no Andrew Shepherd this time, and Mark Burton, number 26, alongside him. Row 6, that's number 12, Liam Crilly, and 83 is starting that car. On the seventh row, number 119 is next up, Simon Heading, who's an addition to the programme, shown with Peter Mansfield in the number 119 car. Next to number 1, reigning Peugeot champions, Samuel Dennis. He's shown with Simmons Day. Samuel Dennis starting that car. Row 8 is the Tidmarsh Webster Ginetta, number 8, and that car being started by Matthew Tidmarsh on this occasion. 57 David Heasman next to him. And it's Josh Johnson, number 121, and 68 John Dundee on the 9th row of the grid. On the 10th row of the grid, it's number 60. That's Lee Reynolds, number 34 being started by Lee Brooks. The 11th row is the number 7 car of Daniel Perry, and number 2 being started by Daniel Jude on this occasion. On the 12th row of the grid, 1, 2, 3 is Matt Creed, and 11 is Simon Baker. On the 13th row of the grid, it's number 40, that's Chris Morton, and treble 6 is Sam Bowler. On the 14th row, it's number 9, Luke Beardmore, and Trevor Gregory is in number 14. On the 15th row, number 36, we'll hear from Sam McKee and Samuel Vasula. We'll have Sam McKee starting that car. Then it's Henry Salisbury in the number 77 car for handing over to sister Olivia. On the, what are we now, 16th row, number 3 is Ben McCauley, and 1. 19th row is 69, which is Jordan Newton, now driving solo, so no Daniel Nemeth. 71 Pip Hammond, also now driving solo as well, in Rover. 20th row, Phil Adcock is starting the Championship 18 car. Chris Fantanen, number 22, is next to him. 531 is the Mercedes 5 starting by Thomas Hiley, and 140 is going to be started by Andrew Harley, and that is the solo driven car. The 22nd row is Robbie Boot in number 16, and Kieran Taylor Beebe in number 17, and 126 at the back is Elliot Walker. What a mammoth grid that was to try and talk our way through, and they're well on their way around this rolling lap, Chris.
Yeah, I think you've just earned a couple of moments of catching your breath there, Ian, because that was a try and make your way through. See the pace car leading around on this warm-up lap. So it is a tie at the head of the overall championship. Of course, doesn't matter what class you are in, you can lead the overall standings. If we take a look at the individual class championships, links that separate the Ginetta G40 of Matthew Tidmarsh and Chris Webster to the Lotus Elite of Ben and Lee Brooks. And it has been 3 different winners so far this season in Class B. And the 2 I just mentioned have both taken win, as has Mark Burton in the BMW 330. We also have a pretty close fight between the Phil Adcock and Matthew Adcock BMW Compact against the Chris Fontana Mazda MX-5 in Class D as well. So there's still an awful lot to play for. Oh my goodness me, that's the number 6, Ryan Parkin Audi TT, that has parked up at the side of the racetrack in the middle of this formation after the exit of the Brundle and Nelson complex. Now moving up to late start for that.
I think we'll have to, unless you can get that car pretty sharpish. Yeah, I can see they've actually got a green flag, so I'm going to wait for another green flag lap rather than anything else.
So that is the cut. So the Darkside developers have got 2 of those Audi TTs. Oh no, there's been contact, because look, the front left is completely askew.
Yeah, there's some heavy damage there. Well, either some comfort or there's a serious fading on that car.
Right.
Just any of the damage to bodywork, that is going to need a 3rd place. So I think of the damage to bodywork.
small car that he'd been driving for a couple of years with the sequential gearbox and slightly fancier suspension. But gave that car to his brother Brian, which is always just pulled up to the side of the road at Silverstone. The car from Scott is driving slightly more old-fashioned H-pattern gearbox, and said that he actually prefers driving. Look, technically it is slower, but slightly more manageable for him. And clearly Ryan Parkin coming up, creating some sort of drama on that formation lap. The good news for Jonathan Packer, who I assume is starting with it's just left the pit lane. Actually, once the safety car means that he can just roll up to the back of the queue.
Yes, exactly. So as a reserve, getting into the race. So just looking, yes, because that will make it 45 cars on track as we go now. By parking car, so we'll replace that effectively in the race.
There was one deleted from your list.
There was,
but is that the one that was missing that has allowed Packer into the race?
Well, as I say, CSR showed 46 cars on the list, including the rain car is shown as being possibly that would disappear. So it's Packer's going into the race.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter, does
it? So
it?
officially now under safety car conditions, what we've not seen is any update on the recovery of Ryan Parkin. So it's just our cameras looking at that, to see if we've got a recovery truck on the scene. It did look like that was going to be a full lift. It's in second quarter of the rest of the just going past our commentary position. We'll try to pass on the start of those have gone. There's a vehicle just heading out through exits at the end of the Bentley Straight. So deal with that car. This is the Golf, 750 Golf. It's easy to build. At the moment, we're just looking at the CCTV numbers.
Yeah, we've got some handy dandy cameras at the moment,
and it just seems to be a part failure. Under braking going into that corner, he went on the brakes and the bottom arms gave way. You can see there's a line down the track where the wheel went underneath and it got caught in the wheel arch. It just looks like the bottom arm has come off and snapped. Real shame obviously, because that car was going to be one of the ones that's going to be fighting for the win at the front of the race. So big shame, but they've still got one car in. But yeah, it was the bottom arm that snapped off, just a part failure. It's unfortunate, but these things happen in motorsport. Back to you guys.
Yeah, thanks, Kieran. So confirmation there from the Darkside pit.
1-0 to Ian.
I wasn't counting. Yeah, so that is unfortunate. So at least one more lap behind safety car. It's a long lap, of course. So hopefully, if this lap is driven sufficiently slowly, we might be able to go racing again at the end of this lap. Take a look again. We've not gone racing at all yet. We are behind the safety car. That car needs to be recovered. So it is still waiting for parking. It leads the race from 117. Martin gets in second. Simpson finds third. 222. Down he goes. Is in the fourth position, and he is in the TCR car. Fourth. So he's fourth. Fifth is the Adrian Blanco car, and sixth is Paul Growers. All of those cars, 8 cars. Spot, but that's many cars. That's the best of the classic. It's just actually on screen now as it makes its way through the Wilson.
Excited to see how the GT4 BMW starting in third position goes, because we've an awful lot of TCR machinery are Mini and Ford low loader. Yeah, interesting to see how that GT4 goes up against the TCR, because I imagine it's carrying quite a bit of weight in comparison to its SRO homologation, for example. But it has got a rather handy driver at the wheel in the form of Simpson, a Ferrari Challenge racer.
Series. Let's remind you of the classes. Class A is going to be called Super GT class. Class C, Super Sport 180, and Sport and C. And yes, so there will be some playing around with weights to get the cars to fit into a competitive level. If you're in a forced emission car, 5 brake horsepower to lower than the modification to regulations as well. It's a very popular category, as you can see, the number of cars that have been attracted to this, especially with this first year of championship status as well for Roadsports Championship. As it now is a good spread of cars across all of the classes. Classes A and B, I think B in particular is most popular in terms of as the tracks. And we'll give them each of those classes. Right, so safety car trench track, that's the scene where right parking has been covered.
The recovery truck is just departing the scene now.
So it's probably a little bit too late really to get the racing race time, unfortunately.
I'm afraid so. There will be another lap under the safety car, and then there's nice examples of their TCR machinery I was talking about there, not just the Seat Cooper but also the Audi RS3 as well. And again, with some modifications to their specification, but nonetheless they race machines come out there.
I think the safety car, oh no, safety car lights are still on. I thought they were off.
Have they just now this second gone out potentially?
No, still got the yellow flags on. So I think we're going to go one more lap behind the safety car. Still good for it's parking.
Quite a bit of glare now on the screen because the sun's coming up.
Yes.
Making it quite difficult to actually spot them, but where you can see it quite clearly.
Yeah. Now, I imagine we'll have a slightly quicker safety car lap this time, now that we know the circuit's clear, just to try and maximise the racing time that we get. I mean, the pit lane window opens in 6 minutes. I mean, it's going to... There'll probably be one racing lap and then it'll be open effectively.
In the pure tactical mind here, if you've put your quick driver in for the start of this race, you are hating this.
Yes.
Because they're not doing anything about being able to pull a gap at the moment for your slower driver to go into. I hate using terms like slower driver, but ultimately one has to be faster than the other, really. It's a sort of fact of racing and is a genuine intrinsic element of endurance racing.
Got parking then on hold. Gadsby and Jones next up in the 1.7 car. Sinan Simpson, Stanton 55, etc. Great range of different cars that we have. Oh, and a spinner! That's not what we wanted, is it? That's the 172 car, which is that of Chris Heathcote. It is Renault clear, it's not going again. But lost his position. I should have said, no, we were safety car, so he can't reclaim that position because the race has officially started. But he might not realise that, and he might try and reclaim the place as the race hasn't started yet.
Well, one of the Civics very nearly did the same thing, just a couple of cars in front of him, which was quite astonishing. And I imagine a lot of front-wheel drive cars are struggling for tyre temperature in general.
Yes.
At the moment.
He's been doing sort of 4.25 minute laps so far.
Yeah, fastest lap of the race, 4 minutes 10 at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. That will soon change. The best lap in qualifying was for Scott Bond 2 minutes 3, so twice as fast, or half the time, I should say, that the laps have been taken by the safety car. Quite a bit of temperature to find in the safety car lights are now out, I think. So you're going to be good to go racing fully this time, but already we've had 11 minutes of this TDI Roadsports Championship race. Pit window opening in less than 4 minutes time now. The safety car has now pulled away from everything else, so it's a gift of Scott Parkin to control the pace.
Yeah, and the BMW that's in second place isn't really going with Scott at all, just sort of giving him a good couple of seconds lead there. You see by by the time they come out of corner, and Paul Simpson is nowhere near on the back of them either. So they're going to be quite spread out when they get across the timing line. It is now green flags waving with Scott Parkin already with a 2.5 second lead over Gadsby, and Gadsby himself is 5.9 ahead of Goat. Well, Simpson's had some sort of problem, that's why there were gaps. Simpson suddenly plummeting down the order. Problems for the GT4 BMW.
Yeah, but even so, there's a few drivers perhaps a little bit napping there. Now, Martin Gadsby is the slower driver of the two in that second place BMW. There's the Simerson car. That's now into to pit lane. Not a mandatory stop, too early for that. And also not quite 45 degrees, as it would have to be for its mandatory stop as well. But a problem down there for the car that was starting on the second row of the grid.
Ex-Century Motorsport car in British GT. You can see Kieran's already sniffing around the BMW to see what the problem is, but it's not looking very good at all. It looked like it was going back into the carriage.
No, so it's Scott Parkin with this big lead then. Is it still going to be Martin Gadsby in second place? Well, probably it was, because he's got a 5.9 second advantage over Darren Goes in the Audi in third position. So it's a very strange race. It's not helped, I don't think, by that BMW heading into pit lane.
I think Gadsby was just estimating if we've been green from the start, how much gap would Scott have already had, just giving that back to him.
Very decent of him, isn't it, you know? Round Williams they go onto the Benton Straight for the first time around. That's the fourth lap of the race. There's the Chris Nyland number 83 car, one of the front runners in Class B, actually third in Class B at the start of this race. Now we're going to get a change there. It looked like possibly that was the 18th car, was it? That was up here to challenge the BMWs. That's Simon Morgan that started that car, trying to find a way through on the inside into the bottom hole. Not able to get through there, but the next attempt is going to be trouble. I think that probably will come off, and it does indeed go second.
So our Silverstone winner already making up places. So that would have been from 5th to 2nd on this lap when you count in the Simpson BMW there as well. So up 3 on this first green flag lap of the race, and we didn't see that Seat Cooper TCR car at the first round, but of course came on swinging at Silverstone, and the Gadsby BMW now coming under pressure from the 222 TCR car now.
Yeah, Darren Goes up the inside into Wilson. He's going to go through. Paul Browse in the Seat might try and go through as well. The 21 car, a spin for 5.31. That's Thomas Hiley that's gone around there. But yeah, it's Gadsby that is losing ground here in the early stage of this race, but possibly not unexpected, because Ian Jones very much the quicker driver in that particular car, and I'm sure we'll be able to make a good fist of things in the second half of the race.
Well, what we were talking about earlier, about so much of the first part of this race being under safety car, they've lost so much less time than they normally would have done. So it's really harsh when you say it like that, but it will give Ian Jones a massive advantage in the second part of the race.
I mean, he could come in theory, at the end of this lap, because the pit lane window is going to be every 3 to 1 second's time. Oh, and that's just a bit too early. Is the number 20 car coming into the pits? That's the Tortoise Pipras on the Civic Type R from the drive from Ipswich, the Lithuanian. So that's an unscheduled stop, I think, for him.
So Michelle this season as well, that Civic Type R. Previously part of the foundation line.
Yes, was. Seasons ago, that would be.
That goes to show you've been racing for 2.5 years now from joining that foundation program. Of course, not great to see him in pit lane, but still racing on there after giving that slightly cheaper entry into the 750 Motor Club racing.
Now that's Liam Crilly in the BMW Z4 that's now trying to get past the compact of Martin Gadsby, who's not giving him an awful lot of room there, nor does he have to really. Now we're going to have the Honda pass him on the inside. They've got either side of Gadsby in the end. I think Crilly has gone through, but Mark Burton, what's happened to him? So, he has come through already, Mark Burton, so he's leading Class B still, a bit further up the road from those 2 or 3 cars that are back there. So it's Burton in 26 that's leading Class B. Class C is being led by Matt Creed, number 123.
really see the difference in power down the start-finish straight between the Class A and Class B cars, but in fact both Crilly and that number 83 car, Christopher Nyland, both end up going through at the Wilson hairpin. It's got to consolidate that move into Palmer, but ultimately does manage to get the move done. And now it is the Lotus Elise, formerly the Class A car, an overall contender. As we see Sammy Bowler, unfortunately, pulling into pit lane. That former Mini Challenge machine having to come to pit lane.
And another place made up there. That's the 119 car, is it not? That has gone through, yes, Sam Heading in the Lotus Elise S2, sharing with Peter Mansfield. He's now gone ahead of the Gadsby car as well. 88, which this is the championship leading car.
Yes, it was. So, excuse me, I'd forgotten that we'd already gone into the pit window. So Sammy Bowler was actually just coming in to do a stop there, I think. And yeah, so that's the championship leader into the pit lane. I think it's going to be a hive of activity now. Everyone trying to take advantage of the fact that we've had so much safety car in the first part of this race. It is game on for second in Class B, because that is Chris Nyland in that Thai part that's just gone through on the Z4 of Crilly. So second place in Class B, and the Lotus Elise of Sam Headley, the Rob Boston Racing Run machine, also challenging for a provisional spot on the bronze podium.
Matt Adcock taking over from Phil Adcock, but they've got a 20-second pit stop success penalty, so it's an 80-second stop in all that they need to make, and that was put to real disadvantage, including to the likes of Pip Hammond, who's leading Class D at the moment today, and only has a 10-second penalty to serve, so 10 seconds he will make up in the pit stops.
Pip running solo this weekend as well, but already back out into the race goes Matthew Adcock, who's taken over. The Prius car coming back out, yes it is. So they had been in the pits for some time, haven't they? About 4 minutes,
something like that, yeah.
It came in just before the pit window opened, and so now we get into this phase of the race where the order's going to seem a little bit jumbled up, especially between the two, the 4 different classes. To our top 4 Class B leaders, we know there's not been any movement in the pits just yet, so those races are still filtered, so to speak, but the middle of the pack is going to start to get a little bit tasty.
Yeah, and you should see how the overall back is, and Adcock could really gain here as Darren goes. He's in third place at the moment because he's not got the pit stop penalty to serve here, and not competing in the championship. Scott Parkin's got 15 seconds to serve, the major car's got 10 seconds to serve, so both of those drivers that are heading on track have penalties to be added to their time. So Darren goes possibly come out on top of this race as far as the overall position. So there's Scott Parkin just coming through now, about to complete lap 7 of the race.
You can hear the rotary engine of the Mazda RX-8 in the background, supercharged engine, I believe.
That's right. Best lap of the race so far is still right in second place. I'm marking 2:04.483 as the best lap of the race so far in this particular category. Lap record for these cars, 2:02.36 for Scott Parkin, so still well outside that mark.
Right, we've been green for about 7 or 8 minutes or so already. We have got the first black and white flag for track limits being displayed, and that honour goes to Chris Morton in the Corsa in Class B. And that is not going to fill him with confidence, bearing in mind we've still got 20 minutes left in this race and keep it squeaky clean in terms of those track limits.
Pip Hammond's getting into the pits and it's just heading out again now.
So we'll see where in relation to the championship leader, obviously the Matthew Adcock BMW. Pip yet to take a win so far this year, but has been third and second in the last 2 races.
There's Ian Crilly, number 12, who's contending for the Class B podium in the pit lane. There's only 8 minutes to go before the pit lane window closes, so of course drivers have pretty quickly 2 or 3 more laps in which to make their pit stops. It's a long lap here.
It's like John Packer there, who saw that as the car that started from pit lane, the BMW Golf, which has already made its way up into 18th position overall. So a very nice job done so far by Packer. It's no stranger to success in club enduro competition.
Yeah, more than halfway through the field already. That's a really good showing. He's lapping the 210s and lapping faster than quite a few of the cars ahead of him. Obviously helped by the fact that we've had a number that have made their pit stops, of course, these we're just going down into the Toro 3 now. Toro 3, 836 with a car in the second position gap. Between 89 Scott Park in the leader and 18 Simon Maker in second place is 7 seconds. Third place is the 222 Darren Goes. In fourth place is the 221 car Paul Grounds. Fifth is number 83, that's Chris Nyland, leading now Class B on the road. And sixth is number 19 Ryan Lawson. Class C, Matt Creed is heading that on the road in the 123 car. And Class D right now is being led by Chris Fantana in the Mazda MX-5, which is number 22 and is 24th overall. But there's still a long way to go, 21 minutes to go, 6.5 minutes left in the pit window as well. Most of the drivers yet to make their stops.
So it is Major lapping slightly quicker at the moment. You do have to wonder where Major would have found himself had he not lost out so much in the start of the race. Because you think about the gap that Parkin had after just a couple of corners with the car, front row of the grid. So going again, not exactly being hot on his heels, and Simpson comes in a problem as well, which rather delayed everyone else behind him. So Scott has been given quite a bit of real estate in this race. Very much in about 20 minutes time. Using a bit of the curve on the exit of the Brundle and the Nelson complex. A bit about track limit in the areas where you can run slightly wide. Have to take that wide line from Gorham as the Class A front runners make their way through.
18 Morgan is in the pit lane now from was second position. That's promoted Darren Goes on the circuit, so we're just going to hand over now to Alan Blanco, isn't he, for the second half race, the full British Touring Car Championship driver. So that fares. Paul Rouse is in, Chris Nyland is now in, Sam Heading is in. So cars in 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th are now into the pit lane with obviously opportunities running out to make those pit stops.
Class B lane there as well.
That's the 531 Mazda MX-5 of Thomas Hiley.
And the outlet specials.
Which is the next race actually after this.
So he's going to get out of that car and go straight into his programs, which
seems to be the case.
It will all really have to be in the assembly area, won't it? So I imagine someone else is going to have to take it there for him, and then they'll run from Parc Ferme over to the...
It makes you wonder why Adam Hiley didn't start this race.
It does make you wonder that, doesn't it, really?
Yeah, anyway, okay. 20 minutes of the race left to go. That is the 117 car, which has been taken over now by Ian Jones from Martin Gadsby. So where's that car running? He's in 22nd position overall, but is on the opposite. The drivers make their pit stops. And he's one that's not too far away from the podium positions when everything shakes out. It's quite difficult to see how this race is going to play. It's more difficult at a long circuit like this than it is actually a short circuit, because there's sort of less updates on the positions because you get through them as a lap just to check everyone's placings. Really come across the line just behind him, and just looking at positions. Yeah, up another 9th place on that lap was Jones, so he's now 13th and really 14th, both of them having made their stops. Just having a look. So it's a little bit far away from the overall lead, isn't Oldie and seconds by the time all of this pans out. Darren goes now in the pit lane, by the way. Scott Parkin is yet to make a stop. I think he's going to need to have to at the end of that. But he is on. We're watching the 14 car there. That's Trevor Gregory. Well known to anyone that's raced in the 750 Magic recently. He's out there on the 17 car. He's in the pit. I think that's the Darren goes about.
The Audi TCR RS3. Also no driver change to complete there, so 6 stationary for the mandatory time. Yet to see Scott Parkin in as well as Wayne Lawson, the top 2. Who else is in? Yeah, the car currently leading Class C, which is the number 7 Daniel Perry Jetta G40 GT5 car. And there is one more, which is the Sam McKee BMW, so in Class C. There are a couple a little bit further down, including the Class D and the Chris Fontana car. They've only got less than 2 minutes to do it now, haven't they? So
yeah.
It will have to be pretty much on this lap, won't it?
Yeah, everyone, or nearly everyone has made their stop. Now Scott Parkin has just come in as well from the lead of the race. So he's just arrived down pit lane. I can see him, his team's showing him where to pull in outside the pit garage. So he says actually it's Wayne Lawson, I think, and Chris Fontana to make their stops. Wayne Lawson, who's showing in the lead of the race, but does need to come in this time. So that's Scott Parkin's car.
Just taking on some fluids as well.
Yeah, no refueling, but that's the car rather than the driver that applies to. So there goes the Chris Webster car, as it now is just coming out of the pit lane as well. The Flying Tangerine Racing Janetta. Nice little scrap going on track there, including is that Mark Burton's BMW there, just ahead of Jonathan. No, not Jonathan Packer. It's the 1-2-1 car, I think. Josh Johnson's Golf, of course. And so, where are they in all of this? Well, that's Burton just getting ahead of Johnson now for 10th position overall and 4th place in Class B. So I think Burton probably hurt in the pit stops there. He had a 10-second success penalty to serve as part of his pit stop. Sam McKee is handed over to Sam Russell, the Birmingham bus driver now.
His second ever motor race.
Yeah, absolutely.
Eyes wide open.
Absolutely. I'm not sure what bus route he drives in Birmingham. That's the number 11, the circular bus route that goes around the whole of Birmingham, or in which case that's a very long lap, even compared to the Snetterton 300.
I was going to say, the route is not going to be in the same shape as Snetterton, is it?
No, not going to help.
No, not quite.
It takes considerably long to complete a lap as well. So here is the erstwhile race leader, and I think even is showing on Thomas Bean is still the race leader, but he's confirmed at the end of this lap, and that is Scott Parkin. But he's got right behind him the number 2 car that's now being driven by Alan Henderson, who is shown as 27th place. Wayne Lawson's just heading back out into the race, having made his pit stop. So I think that's everyone now that has made their stop, which is just as well, because they're only now less than 15 minutes to go in the race. And it does mean what we see in terms of positions at the end of this lap will really reflect where we are for the final third of the 45 minutes that we've got, albeit the first 10 or so of that was running behind the safety car.
For now, that Lotus Elise, the great looking machine as well. Coming up on a little bit of traffic, but Scott Parkin will get information again on the timing line, but he does still have the lead of this race. The 18 machine of Alan Blake, the second TCR car, does still have the fastest lap of the race, 2:03.836. And was 12 seconds registered at the timing line. That is a good headlight flash mod there on the Audi TT. The central one, we've seen that before, and quite difficult to miss as well. So it's probably welcome for the driver inside the car, probably not for the ones that about to get confirmation that Scott Parkin is still the race leader because he's about to go over the timing line. Pit lane closed is the message. Going out to the drivers, and yes, Scott Parkin does indeed lead. We wait to see what the gap to Alan Blenko is at number 18.
There he is.
She just got past us now, so 10.4 seconds.
Yeah, so a decent lead that for Scott Parkin. And that's despite the fact he had a 5-second longer pit stop to make than the car behind him. So had a good run in that first part of the race to build up the gap. But to get out of it, still to the tune of 10 seconds. So he's looking good here for a overall and class victory in the fourth round of the championship. In mind that he's had not yet had one so far this season, has he? He's always been second or third,
which is odd to think given how much he's been cleaning up in Club Enduro. Darren goes back into pit lane behind the TCR car, having just recently emerged back out onto the racetrack. Is back in. Of course, the pit window is closed anyway, so that would suggest that this is more mechanical or technical problems.
Yeah, no indication of any penalty. Of course, that puts him in a different position, but he's being now pushed back out. And it does look like they're waiting for something there. I don't know quite what it would have been. Because they weren't working on the car, and I've not had any notification of a penalty, I don't think, or anything like that. So, slightly puzzling. But it does mean that Darren Gay, who we thought might be a contender for the victory here, is not going to be.
At the very least for the podium. And so that has promoted the 221 car of Paul Browse.
Yeah.
The number of TCR cars, Seat Cupra.
And Ian Jones up to fourth now in the BMW stock by Martin Gadsby, and lapping faster than any of the cars ahead of him as well. So that's one that could make its way into the podium positions before the end of this race. Some very tight battling down the order, and picking his way through that as well was Scott Parkin. There's been some contact, you can see out of our conference box window, which involved Scott Parkin. Yellow flags now out. Now Scott Parkin continued. I think he has, but one other car was involved. But Scott Parkin certainly involved in some contact up there at Rich's corner. We didn't catch that on camera, but I did manage to see that out of the commentary box window, and we'll see if that has done any damage to that race-leading Audi or delayed him. He's got Alan Henson right behind him in that Lotus, which is a lap down effectively, but Alan, a very rapid and competent driver, able to sort of lap in the same kind of lap and only a full lap behind him. Just looking at the class situation as well, Chris Nyland now has handed over to Will Podskill, so Will Podskill is leading in Class B from Liam Crilly. The gap between those two is just shades under 4 seconds. And Class C, that is still being led by Matt Creed, and he's got 7.5, 8 seconds in hand over the number 9 car of Luke Beardmore in the Mazda RX-8. And Class D is Pip Hammond's leading by 4.5 seconds from Matt's box in ours.
So it'll be 2 first-time winners if it were to stay like this. Scott Parkin for saying the overall, Pip Hammond in Class D. This is very at least, and for the 83 as well. That will be a first win. Putting on for William to go and Chris Nyland. I was looking at the wrong class, but it was still correct, so I shouldn't have said anything. And then yes, just leading in Class D at the moment is Class C is Matt Creed, and that would be a second victory in the season for Matt Cleo, who won the first race of the season at Croft, but as it stands, we're going to be adding 3 new winners to the mission for this season.
Yeah, we've had lots of different winners across the classes so far this year, and it's good that we might get some more new ones today, even if at least one of them is someone who you kind of think should have won already, Scott Parkin. Let's head down to the pit lane where Kieran Mark has news for us.
Yes, thank you very much. Obviously, there's a lot going out on track at the moment, but there's also a lot going on back in pit lane as well. So we've just had car 222 coming in. It turns out they were clashing on 4th gear. Also then struggling to select some reverse well, so that car's having some difficulty with the gearbox. Car 55 had a complete brake failure. They've managed to get it in, sort the brakes out, and they're back out. It's a real shame for them, obviously. And then Ryan Parkin's car is back in the paddock now. They've got it, all the wheels off and everything. It's up on jack stands, and it literally looks like the blower arm has just completely snapped off. It's a big shame for obviously them. Massive to have some of these drivers out of the race and having some difficulties, but that's motorsport for you. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Kieran. Kieran went down there in pit lane. 7.5 minutes to go. There's our Class B leader, Will Pottergill, in the number 83. Hans Holland back on the split time car. He's got only now 1.8 seconds in hand over Liam Crilly in the BMW, because Crilly has just done his personal best lap of the race at 2:08.69. On the last lap, was good at 2:10.907. So if it keeps with that rate, the two of them are going to be together for not much longer, because there's still 7 minutes of the race left to go. So we could have a final round for Class B. Might be for Class C. Just having a look there. No, I don't think we're going to think of anything. Matt Creed is getting away in the lead of that class. And Class D, Phil Hammond to Matt Adcock. The gap did come down by about 7 tenths that time, so keep an eye on that. But looks like the best battle there, Chris, is going to be for Class B on this one.
Will driving the same car, but a very different looking end result to when he had that car in the Time Bar Trophy. The Motion Motorsport prepared machine. Is coming down 1.7 seconds. Last time they went through the timing split, it's a bit less than that now, isn't it, between the Civic and the Z4, as they made their way around the bomb hole and then into Coram. You see the weight transfer. It's what I love. A corner like Coram, you can really see the weight transfer on there, particularly on the Civic. Z4's looking a bit stiffer. Whoa, hey! All over the curving there for the Class B leader Pottergill. Now that probably has compromised his exit out of Murray's.
Someone's getting a 5-second penalty, I can see there. Is that anyone important as far as the race is concerned?
Well, meanwhile it's side by side for the Class B lead into Ritchie's, and Crilly does go through with relative ease, in fact, in the end, after that two-wheeled moment for Pottergill coming through Murray's, and it is a change for the leading Class B with 5 minutes to go.
Absolutely, and the other driver that's on the podium positions for Class B is Mark Burton. He's one of the drivers to get a 5-second penalty, the most significant there, while the others aren't inside the top 20, but Mark Burton gets a 5-second penalty, and that will drop him down. He's thinks one position by Simon Dennis in this car as well, so he's got a few minutes to try and pull out a bit of a gap. But new class leader, I think he was probably on the cards, and Liam Crilly has come through to take the advantage there within Class B, and yeah, that's looking good for him. What would be another new class winner?
So if Burt does end up losing the podium there, then that would be the first podium of the season for Sam Denison since the first meeting of the season at Croft for their Motorsport prepared Civic, which should be very nice to see. And Ethan's a very ambitious young chap, former British Karting Championships, aiming for a spot on the British Touring Car Championship grid in the years to come.
So with about 4 minutes of the race to go, so number 89 Scott Park in the lead, number 18 Alan Blanco is second, that's 13.5 seconds between them. So number 25 seconds or so back to Ian Jones, who now is up to third position in the BMW. I think that's about as far as he's going to get, but he has made up ground here. He's got past Browse and Wayne Wilson here to get onto the podium, so good effort from him. Fourth, 2-2-1 to Browse, fifth, 19 was Wayne Wilson, then it's our Class B now, number 12 in Crilly. Then it's Pottergill in the Honda, in 7th Mark Burton, which is 8th for all times corrected. 9th will be number 1, Ethan Simmons and Rally out the top 10 of the H Janetta of Chris Webster. Class C, just checking if that's still going away for Matthew Creed in the 1, 2, 3 car. Yes, it very much looks like it is.
Talks about Class D, 3.6 seconds, and gives that second quicker at the moment. Class D Pip Hammond.
Although Pip had just his best lap of the race, hadn't he?
Yes.
2:21.
So the pace is then very much in favour of chasing that car, but it's just under 3 minutes to go, and Scott Parkin will soon be starting his penultimate lap of the race, very much in a commanding lead now in this race, 13.6 to the good over Alan Blanco, and surely we'll soon be adding another new name to the winners pile of this year. Indeed, he's to the podium as well. He is Major Blanco as well. They haven't. Alan Blanco has actually been out of the team. So
He's been with Claire Norman at Silverstone, I think.
yes.
Oh, into the pits is the 10 car. It's the Rob Fennick BMW M2. How was that running? Well down the order, I think.
So not anywhere of any significance.
No,
is it?
no.
Really, because it's a Class B car.
It's an A-class car.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
But
Yes, it's the Fennick.
yeah, clearly some difficulties in the early part of the race. It should be inside the top 10, you would think, overall.
It's first year in Class A for is it not? Because he was spent quite a few years in the Class C Ginetta.
I think right. But yeah, so we've got a minute to go. There'll be just time for one more lap, I think, at the end of this one for Scott Parkin. So that was the car behind him. Yes, it is.
I'm curious how much is Scott cruising here, because that Henderson Elise that was hounding him for a while has gone through and just scampered off down the road, really.
Yeah.
It almost looked like for a second that Jonathan Hampton was going to give him a hard time.
It's a couple of seconds inside the pace he was setting earlier on, and of course he's only got a lap record in it, actually, with a 2:02. So,
But that would have been in the superior car, wouldn't it, with the sequential gearbox and
Suspect it
the
was, yes.
nice suspension. So I don't think we're actually going to trouble that
Doesn't
this
look like it
weekend.
today.
It's actually, obviously, it's the same cars we're seeing Club Enduro. The Roadsport lap record is slightly quicker.
car 5, which is Jonathan Package, off the pit lane, is going to get an 18.7 time penalty, second time penalty. That's because of an unsafe release. He's going to serve that in lieu of the stop go penalty. Pip Hammond fans, there he is. He's being lapped by Scott Parkin here in his Class D Vauxhall Nova.
I do believe that packet car moment should have Jamie Hadley on it.
Oh yeah, he's right.
So let's give credit where it's due.
Absolutely. They probably need to be responsible necessarily for the unsafe release. They'll have to do what they were told to do by the team.
Oh yes, not credit for the penalty. No, I would never do that.
So, watching Pip Hammond, who is going to win Class D here because he's got still about a 3 or 4 second gap over the Adcock. So we're going to take second here, and obviously it was very tight in the championship. Still 2 more meetings to go after this for the Roadsports. They go to Silverstone, and then to Donington Park to end that season.
But they should very much consolidate the championship lead now, because the car they were tied on points with, which is the Jez Banks and Daniel Perry Ginetta, is only 7th in Class C at the moment. And coming into this weekend, they both had 2 wins, 3rd place finish, and 2 fastest lap bonus points as well. So it's very much in favour of the Adcocks at the moment, as Scott Parkin about to meet the checkered flag.
Yeah, and get his first win of the season in the Tequila Roadsports Championship, although he leads Class A in the championship by a reasonably healthy margin. He's He's been consistent without getting the win up until now, but he's emerged from Murray's. He's flashing his lights as he comes across the line in a moment. Checkered flag goes out to him, and it's Scott Parkin then that takes the victory. He wins the fourth round of the Skoda Roadsports Championship by a fairly convincing margin in the end over Alan Blanco, who's just crossing the line now. There he is, and 14.1 seconds is the gap, and it's going to be a bit further down the road. Ian Gadsby, so Ian Jones and Adam Gadsby, who take third place. We'll try and pick up on the class winners too as they go through. Most of the cars just down. I think Matt Creed, I can see possibly in the background, is shortly to come through to take the Class C honours in car 1, 2, 3. Yes, there he is now. There's Matt Creed, our Class C winner.
And Pip Hammond has also gone through to take the Class D honours. And so that is another new winner added to the rostrum, and should soon be expecting Liam Crilly to do the same for his Class B victory.
Yeah, he's just on his way out of the Murray's. He's got the Chris Snyder, the William Punter car a bit closer to behind him again towards the end, but there he goes. There is our Class B winner, the number 12 car, Liam Crilly, another new class winner.